USA, we are ready to roll.
Extraordinary moments.
Beautiful night for some football.
Scotty Scheffler takes it all.
Joey Logano steps into history.
A lot of stars for you on Sunday Night Football.
We're in Canton, Ohio to kick off the 2025 NFL season with the Pro Football Hall of Fame game between the Chargers and the Lions. And we'll get to all of the festivities that surround this game and this weekend in just a minute. But first, our thoughts are with all of those affected by Monday's shooting in New York City, including the loved ones of the 4 people killed by a gunman who officials said was targeting the NFL offices. One NFL employee who was seriously injured remains hospitalized and has been surrounded by his family and members of the NFL community. Now, there will be increased security measures in place for tonight's game, and the NFL will hold a moment of silence prior to kickoff. We're also going to have a conversation with Commissioner Roger Goodell later in our pregame coverage. And in his letter to league employees on Tuesday, the commissioner said, quote, "In the midst of this difficult time, we hold on to hope and optimism for healing and brighter days ahead." And we're going to take the spirit of healing as we turn our attention now to tonight's Hall of Fame game and this weekend, which means so much to generations of Hall of Famers and the fans alike who are gathered here in Canton each year to pay tribute to the past and, of course, anticipate yet another new season. And that's when we say welcome, everyone, to season 20 of Football Night in America and Sunday Night Football. Maria Taylor, we've got Devin McCourty and Jason Garrett here again. And, guys, it's so cool to start the season here and start football, bring it back as we celebrate history. But we've got teams, we've got players that are ready to write their own history. You guys walked over to the Hall of Fame yesterday, going through those hallowed halls. Like, what emotions, what thoughts does it bring up for you, Devin?
It's like a trip down memory lane. I remember young Devin, a fan of Curtis Martin and Emmitt Smith. Then I got to high school. I wanted to be like Charles Woodson and Ed Reed. And I was teammates with guys like Randy Moss. So I felt like I was a part of the Hall of Fame just from knowing those guys, looking up to them. So it's just an awesome feeling as you walk through those halls and you just see all those special faces.
Yeah, it was emotional for me. I walked into that room with all the bus and I counted 21 guys that I played with, I coached, or I was coached by in that room. And I looked down and I looked at every one of them in their eye and I just said, you know, I know your story. I know your journey, the ups and downs and successes, adversities, and how they fought through all that to become an elite, the elite of the elite, as a player, as a coach, to be one of 382 names in 105 years of football. Yeah. It's incredible. Really, really special honor.
That's just 1.2% of players that play the game end up being considered the greatest in the game, okay? And we get to add 4 more as they will be inducted into the 2025 induction ceremony. We got Eric Allen, the cornerback, Jared Allen, the defensive end. We're going to hear from him a little bit later. Antonio Gates, one of the greatest stories in all of football, headed into the Hall of Fame. And, Coach, you know a little something about Sterling Sharp.
Yeah, how about that? Thanksgiving Day, 1994. I get a chance to start for the Cowboys against the Packers, and it's Brett Favre, Reggie White. They're really good. We're really good. And it's a shootout the whole game. And I'm on the sidelines. We're fighting to try to score some points on offense. And every time I look up, Sterling Sharp is running into the end zone. The guy scored 4 touchdowns that day. It was his last year playing. Scored 18 that year. 7-year career. He's been a Hall of Famer for a long time. If he kept playing,
sure, over 8,000 yards. I mean, he's got it. He's got it. What about Antonio Gates? You know
Antonio Gates. First time I played him, second year, 2011. Game plan says we're going to triple team Antonio Gates. We put a defensive end on him, a linebacker on him, and a safety. He had no catches. Great job. Vincent Jackson, 10 catches, 170 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Oh, yeah, I was covering him for most of the game.
So. Vincent Jackson was only 11 feet tall, and he ran 4.3.
Thanks for helping me out with that.
By the way, when I say Antonio Gates, didn't play a down of college football, so he's going to be the first Hall of Famer to have never played college football to be inducted, which is an amazing story. Another amazing story is that we've got a Hall of Famer with us, okay? That is the great Tony Dungy. He does have his gold jacket. Didn't leave it in the hotel, but he's with Jack and Rodney as we speak.
Coach always looking clean when we get out here to Canton. Coach, I'm thinking about this year's class. You just heard them talking about it. No first ballot Hall of Famers, a group that's had to wait for their moment. What stands out about this group to you?
tremendous players who did a great job over the course of their career, and this is overdue. Some of these guys waited, Sterling, 21 years to get in. I just think overdue is the word, Rod.
For me, it's Antonio Gates, and Antonio Gates was the real deal. Coach, I don't think people really appreciated his quickness off the line, or when he got in his route, he would just post you up and put that big butt and just knock you out and go up like a power forward. He is truly one of the top 3 tight ends I've ever had to face.
A cheat code in the red zone is what he was. And, Coach, let me ask you about this, because I'm thinking about, the game. We see the speeches on TV, but what is your favorite part of this weekend?
I'll tell you, no question, Jack. It's tomorrow night, Friday night. They alert you, hey, you're going to have to give a speech, all this. But when you get that gold jacket, when you walk down and they put it on, and then you walk through the rest of the Hall of Famers, it is so, I still get tears in my eyes looking at it right now, Rod.
Coach, I'm not in the Hall of Fame, but we've been here many times, and every time I come here, I get a great appreciation. I get goosebumps because of the guys that I played against, but also the guys that I saw growing up, and even some of my teammates, my good friends like you, and how hard and how many sacrifices you guys had to make in order to be here. It's truly an honor to be here.
It is, and I know you get goosebumps now. You're really going to have goosebumps when you get in, and you are going to get in, my friend.
Amen to that, and you are going into the Chargers Hall of Fame this upcoming season, so we look forward to that as well. Hot Rod.
Thank you.
And right now we're going to check in with Chris Sims, who is with the head coach of the Chargers just moments ago, and Jim Harbaugh.
Coach Harbaugh, the significance to be here at the Hall of Fame, what's it mean to you?
It's the significance of, when you're growing up, you just, and football chooses you choose football, you have that love, you have that passion, you have that joy for football, and you walk over to the Hall of Fame like we did as a team, and you see all your heroes. I mean, back to George Halas and Jim Thorpe and Bronco Nagurski to Dan Fouts, who's standing there. I mean, just all those kind of emotions start rushing back to you, and then here you drive the bus and you go back in through Canton McKinley High School, right, and you walk through the hallways to get to your locker room, and then you start thinking about your high school days, and then man, we're back out here into the locker room getting ready to play pro football game, and just feel so blessed to, it's almost, I mean, these full circle things are happening, and for our guys, I mean, we got the license, we got the ability to someday you guys got the ability and license to end your career, right, in Canton with one of those gold jackets. So yeah, super fired up.
Your quarterback, Justin Herbert, right? Everybody wants to know what's it take to get him to the next level. What do you say to that?
Well, I say that's us on offense, rising to his level. I mean, he's elite. I wouldn't change a thing in every way. And I used to think, like, man, I'm glad we got Justin Herbert. I mean, sit at my desk and feel good about that. And then it kind of hit me like, well, gosh darn, what if the other offensive coaches, what if the offensive personnel, what if we could get, at least aspire to get to his level, how good could we be? So that's what we're attacking right now.
Awesome, Coach. Thanks so much. Good luck. All right. Have a great year. All right. You know it. See you, buddy.
All right, so Coach Harbaugh, glad that he has Justin Herbert. There's Tony Dungy, his sons Jalen Joel. They're glad they get to spend a little time with him. We're going to talk about the Chargers and the Lions and their chance to make it to the playoffs next season. That's coming up next. NBC Sports Now channel keeps you going all day long. It is free to stream online or on any of your devices. Every day it kicks off with Pro Football Talk Live, which is hosted by Mike Florio, who we are happy to welcome in now into the show. And we look over like 15 minutes before the show starts, and your hair just starts going. You're spinning in the seat because news is coming in that Terry McLaurin of the Washington Commanders has requested a trade. What is the latest?
Yeah, well, he has wanted a new contract all year long. He wasn't there for any of the offseason program. He held out the first 4 days of training camp. On Sunday, he showed up. Now, 4 days later, he's asking for the trade. I don't know what the team is going to do. I don't know that they know what they're going to do. Obviously, this could be the thing that kickstarts the final discussions, but he is due to make $15 million. The market is more than twice that amount now. So they need to do something or he's not going to be happy, and he's clearly not happy.
Yeah, but we know he's good. He's been a Pro Bowler in 2 of the last 3 seasons, been a 1,000-yard receiver for the last 5 seasons. And speaking of contract talks, let's talk about Dallas and Micah Parsons. And the latest there, as we thought maybe this offseason they would come to negotiation and agreement, and we have not seen it yet throughout camp.
He made his debut 4 years ago on this field as a rookie, played a whole quarter, and now here we are. He is overdue to be the highest paid defensive player in football. The problem is the Cowboys like to negotiate directly with players.
Gotcha.
And they went to him in March and they said, hey, we got a deal. He said, call my agent. They still have not called his agent. They've talked to his agent about other players, about other things. They have yet to call his agent and engage him with Micah. So until that happens, he's at $24 million this year. The magic number's 41, and we just wait to see if the phone is going to ring and they're going to call his agent to try to get this done.
Yeah, and he's come to camp. He's just limited himself.
He hasn't practiced.
Right.
He's not, and that's the smart play. Until you get your security, that's the smart thing.
Yeah. All right. Well, Micah Parsons, obviously the leading pass rusher for Dallas. Leading pass rusher, though, for the Lions, Aiden Hutchinson. Remember, in Week 6, he broke his leg. He played just 5 games, but still led Detroit with 7.5 sacks. But for more on Hutchinson, let's go back down onto the field with Jack, Tony, and Rodney.
Yeah, Maria, Hutchinson, he was the favorite to be the Defensive Player of the Year at the time of that injury. Rod, I just saw you on the field walk straight up to him and ask him how he's doing. What'd you hear about the progress here?
I just asked him, I said, how do you deal with the mental aspect of dealing with the injury? He says, look, I've been stepped on, I've been punched, I've been kicked, and I look down, I feel okay. He says, I don't even think about it anymore. Pretty amazing, Coach.
Yeah, and I was talking to the defensive coaches, and I was going to ask them, are you going to have him on any kind of pitch count before I could even finish the question? No way. First of all, you can't keep this guy on the pitch count.
But I disagree with that. If I'm Dan Campbell, I'm being overly cautious with my star pass rusher. I'm not playing him in the preseason, and during the regular season, I'm going to put him on a pitch count at least the first month of the season. Without this guy, they have no chance on defense.
And the Lions, one of those teams, they're replacing both of their coordinators, so that can be very tricky. What is the biggest challenge in your mind's eye with that?
Well, I think it's keeping the continuity, and believe it or not, they're in great shape because John Morton had been with them. And I talked to their receivers, talked to Jared Goff a little bit, and they haven't changed anything. No reads are changing, no terminology. John Morton has just added a little bit, and the guys are fired up about it.
Yeah, defensively, it's hard to replace a guy like Aaron Glenn. He did a heck of a job with all the injuries, plugging guys in off the streets. Coach, it's just he's done a really great job.
Yeah. And for Goff, this is going to be the first year with Detroit where he hasn't had Ben Johnson on the staff in some capacity at all. As we send it back up to Maria Taylor.
All right, appreciate it, guys. You know, we want to turn our eyes to the Chargers and Justin Herbert. Remember, they went 11-6 under Jim Harbaugh in his first season, but then they had that loss against Houston in the wild card game. We saw Justin Herbert throw 4 interceptions, but I turned to you guys to help me understand what success looks like for the Chargers, more specifically for Justin Herbert in this season.
He just asked Coach Harbaugh, how does he take that next step? To me, success isn't, man, he's super talented. I'm tired of hearing about Justin Herbert's talent. We know he's super talented. I think it has to be that aura around him, the guys talking about how great he is in the locker room, that they'll follow him anywhere. That's what I want to see. Then you don't get the 4 interceptions in a playoff game. You get this guy playing at a high level in the biggest game of the year.
Well, Dev, I love him, and I love the talent, but I also love the guy. But if I were coaching him, I'd do one thing. I would challenge him to get out of his comfort zone and take ownership of this football team. It's his team. It's not Harbaugh's team. It's his time. It's not Harbaugh's time. So make it personal. You know, open up the chest to your teammates. Get in there and grab their heart and bring them with you every single day. That's what the best guys do. That's what the guy in Kansas City does. Right. That's what the guys in this Hall of Fame, that's why they have the gold jackets. He needs to do it.
But do you think he can do it?
I think he can.
I do too. I think he can do it too. But I understand what you're saying, Devin. He doesn't have that aura that we talk about. You talked about the Mount Rushmore, what you're alluding to, Mahomes, Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen, Burrow. You almost feel helpless as a defender sometimes playing against them. The defense can win a play and they can still get a 20-yard gain. To me, that's the next step for Justin Herbert. If you really break him down in the pocket, he's awesome. He makes great decisions. He's big. He's strong. But when the play is not there, you got to play backyard football, extend the play. That's where he is not on the same level as some of those guys we just mentioned.
But to me, it's the same thing we're talking about. It's a willfulness that happens. He has the ability to do it. He's a tremendous athlete, but will the play to happen? Will the game to
Exactly. Will it?
And I get a little nervous when you talk about those are intangibles to me that comes with a guy. And I know you're saying he can do it. I get a little concern of when you're a Pop Warner kid, a high school kid, you already have those things, and I want to see it from this year.
Can I just ask you then? Because Jim Harbaugh always says, I love Justin Herbert, how he is and who he is. As a coach, then, how do you create the player that's going to go and grab and pull out everything that you're saying he needs to do?
Again, I like to use the word challenge. Challenge him every day. Get out of your comfort zone. It's not enough just to be the great example. Yeah. He's an amazing worker, all that kind of stuff. He's got to sometimes grab a guy and say, let's go. That's not enough.
Let's not forget this, too. The Chargers charging was a meme just 2 years ago. It's year 2 with Harbaugh. He's going to be a better player with this team and the support system they have now around him.
And here's what else we're not going to forget, okay? Justin Herbert, no one has thrown more passing yards than he has through the first 5 years of his career, and he surpassed that guy, Peyton Manning. And so the first 5 seasons, they both did really good statistically, not so well in the playoffs, but year 6.
So you're saying he's the next
No, but I'm saying by year 6, Manning won MVP, reached the AFC Championship, so he could be following in some Hall of Fame footsteps. That's all I'm saying. No doubt, right? Guess what? We've got Jim Harbaugh. We've been talking about his Chargers. The Hall of Fame class is getting prepared to be inducted. And that guy, Brent Musburger, you're looking live, I think, at him. And he's getting a gold jacket as well.
I started thinking about this after I got voted into the Hall of Fame. I believe that the busts talk to each other. And I can't wait for that conversation. I really can't. To all my ex-players, we'll be there forever and ever and ever.
My head don't belong with some of these other heads that's in the Hall of Fame.
I like it when they talk dirty to me. Jerry Rice taught me about looking sweet.
I don't get what he's saying. I'm retired.
Well, I'm getting better looking every day.
Let's unretire.
Security! Security!
I'm good right here, bro.
Sometimes it's good to relax and think about the good old days.
Turn out the lights. The party's over.
What am I doing here? I've got a show to do.
That's right, Coach. You're supposed to be with us, buddy. I can't believe you were there.
I'm glad I'm here. And I guess Coach Madden was right. Those busts do talk.
They do talk. And later, can I borrow the jacket or no?
Yes, you can.
Okay, thank you. We're going to see your guys' visit to the Hall a little bit later. But we also have a friend that's going to join us soon. Yeah, a Hall of Fame broadcaster, and Brent Musburger. He's going to receive the Pete Rozelle Radio Television Award this weekend, celebrating an iconic career that lasted nearly 50 years. But first, take a look at this.
Music, effects, program.
Good afternoon, everyone. The good news for San Francisco is that they have their leader back, Joe Montana.
You know, Joe, the ball is so catchable when you throw it.
I've got the best view in the world.
This well could be the best football team in history right now. You are looking live at Giant Stadium, the site of the main event. Now, the winner goes on to the Super Bowl to play the AFC champion. Unbelievable job.
You never know on a Sunday afternoon where we might have to work.
Just win, baby.
Las Vegas is officially an NFL city.
Jackpot, baby! This one's over.
Oh, man, it's my honor to welcome in the legend, Brent Musburger. You are really looking live.
Oh, my goodness. You are looking live at the queen of Sunday Night Football, Maria Taylor.
Listen,
I broke her in with the SEC.
He did.
But she attended more practices than I did.
I did. I only showed up if Brent was going to be there. I got to ask you, okay,
Sure.
You get the call from your friend and the Hall of Famer, Dick Vermeil. Like, the first thing going through your mind is what?
Congratulations for what? That's what he said first. I didn't know what he was congratulating me for. But it's Maria, listen, Pete Rozelle was a great friend of the NFL today. At least a couple times a year, he would come over when he wasn't on the road watching games. I knew him when he was a PR man. Oh, I'm dating myself. Oh, my goodness. I'm getting old. But anyway, Rozelle, it's an honor I just wish Phyllis George, Irv Cross, and Amanda Greek were with me, you know, because it was a team effort, just like you guys on Sunday night. Sure. You got a great team at NBC, and you make it work. We look forward to that pregame show now.
Yeah, we talk about the 50-year career that you've had, but 18 of those years, it was you at the helm of NFL Today. Like, what did that show, what did that time mean to you in your career?
Well, it meant everything. I mean, back before I became NFL Today host, somebody named Musburger would have changed their last name. I mean, that was not. So I don't get to do the NBA and the Final Four and all those things without the National Football League. And now, beyond a shadow of a doubt, the #1 entertainment vehicle in this country is the National Football League.
Period. Full stop. You know, I've never told you this before, Brent, but you remember when you came to the SEC network and you were the guy who did, you were looking live, you started the network, and my grandma loved you, but she passed away right before we worked together, and she would have cried on that day. And it was my honor to be able to work with you, and so thankful for the help that you provided over the years.
Listen, you were awesome on the sideline. I thought Jack Root was the best until you came up.
Well, listen, I'm going to let you have the mic. This is Brent's show now. Can you take us to break, Brent, for a second?
Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to take a break, but coming up, it's the Hall of Fame game. It's two contenders. It's the Lions. It's the Chargers. Let's look at their youngsters. Fill out the roster. You're going to have a great game tonight. Oh, by the way, the Lions are favored by a point.
Guess what, friends? Football's back. We're counting down to kickoff for the Hall of Fame game. You're seeing pads, you're seeing helmets, you're seeing warm-ups, but you may not see any veteran stars tonight. Plenty of young talent on the field, though. We're going to start with the Chargers' first-round pick, the running back, Omari Hampton, Chris.
That's right. This might be the biggest young star on the field tonight. First-round pick, North Carolina. Hey, guys, what do you think Jim Harbaugh wants to do this year?
Run the ball!
Oh, that's right. Well, they got the guy right here. He is made for the NFL. Bell cow type of running back, can run it 25 times, got power in his legs, can take the pounding that way. I think he's going to be a huge benefit to this Chargers offense.
Well, guess what? Everyone knows they want to run the ball. So this guy right here, Trey Harris, he's a receiver. He can do it all. He can take short passes and run with the ball in his hands. He can go deep. I know he's not a speedster, but does a good job high-pointing the ball, going up there against defenders and catching the ball. Looking forward to seeing him tonight.
I'm really excited about seeing quarterback Hendon Hooker. I saw him a lot in college, had an opportunity to watch him, and I talked to a coach from the Lions, and he said he's in a tough, heated battle with veteran quarterback Kyle Allen. Said he's holding his own. I like this kid. He's smart. He's got great size. He can throw the ball 70 yards down the field, Jason, and he's a tremendous athlete,
yeah,
Coach.
He's got it all for me, and it's important for him to play. Coming off the ACL injury, his offensive tendency was spread out on the line of scrimmage, different than the offense he's going to be playing in Detroit. They say he's done well in training camp. He's going to get a lot of snaps tonight. If I'm Johnny Morton, the offensive coordinator, get him in the game. Move him a little bit. Get him 5 completions before he knows it.
I love it.
All right, Hendon Hooker, he might not be on the fantasy draft lineup, but guess what? We're getting set for fantasy. Here are the top Chargers and Lions in Matthew Berry's rankings. Jahmyr Gibbs, his second-ranked running back, in the full rankings are on Roto World at NBCSports.com. And guess what? Matthew's down on the field with Jack.
Oh, yeah, Maria, we stay set for fantasy. As you can see, there is some big names. There is some high-value fantasy guys on this field tonight. Matthew, what name jumps out to you?
Well, they're all so great, but Jahmyr Gibbs, I think we need to talk about it. Yeah. I saw Jared Goff before the game, and I talked to him a little bit, and I said, hey, how's it going with a new offensive coordinator? And he said, well, we've added a few new wrinkles, but don't worry. Jahmyr Gibbs is still going to be really, really good this year. I actually saw Gibbs as well, and I spoke to him, asked him how he's feeling with the new offense a little bit. He's very excited as well, feels great. I have a feeling there might be a few new red zone packages for Jahmyr Gibbs. He, as Maria said, my #2 running back overall, going to have a monster year.
I've been thinking about your ride or die pick. Jalen Hurts, Amon-Ra St. Brown, some of your picks in this exact spot before explosions in their career. Who is the 2025 ride or die for you?
Yeah, this stadium's been good to me, and my ride or die this year is actually in this stadium. I see him right over there, number 8, Omari Hampton, the Chargers rookie running back. Look, you just heard Sims talk about how he's NFL ready, right? I spoke to a Chargers safety before the game, and I said, hey, how's Hampton looking? He was just like, man, we do not like tackling that guy in practice. He runs hard. And yes, Chris is right. They want to run the ball this year. They also like to run when they're in close. Last year, the Chargers were top 6 in the NFL in terms of running back carries inside the 5-yard line. I think it's one of the better offensive lines in football. And I know people are worried about Najee Harris taking away carries. I'm not. Amarian Hampton is a special, special player. I also think fantasy-wise, he's great value on Yahoo right now. He's going around pick 50 overall. On my personal ranks, I have him inside the top 30. Amarian Hampton is my 2025 ride or die.
Love it. For what it's worth, I was just talking to that offensive line, and they said he is the real deal. So Hampton for you as we send it back over to Maria Taylor.
Hampton getting a big nod from Matthew Berry, getting ready to write his own history, but there's already so much football history here in Canton. And our guys took a walk through the hall and reminisced on some of the all-time greats of the game.
I don't even know how to describe Peyton Manning. Just unbelievable work ethic, great leader, passion for the game. I've never been around a player who worked as hard to be good as Peyton.
And Coach, for us, he was a royal pain in the butt because he was so smart. He paid attention to all the little small details, and it was always kind of that, that back and forth with Peyton, and he was just a tremendous football player.
Thanksgiving Day 1994, Troy Aikman's hurt. I get the start in the game against the Green Bay Packers. We wanted to start fast in the game. Didn't happen for one reason. Reggie White knocking balls down, quarterback hits, sacking me, and every time he'd sack me, he'd be laying on top of me, hey, you're doing a great job. You're doing a great job.
2006, I got to open the season as the quarterback of the Bucs against the Baltimore Ravens. I'm already like, oh my gosh, we're playing Ray Lewis. This is going to be an unbelievable experience. And I look over, I'm in the huddle, and he's dancing, singing a song about it's football time. He's loose as could be. Then you get to the second level of the defense, and you go, oh great, it's Ed Reed. I get ready to throw the ball. Ed Reed, in his hands, drops it. I'm like, what the? He looks at me and goes, yeah, almost got you, didn't I? A few plays later, he did get me.
A favorite of mine is Curtis Martin. It was his time on the Jets, not the Patriots. Sorry, Pats fans. Growing up in Nyack, New York, Jets and Giants was on TV all the time. So what I decided to do was I sent Curtis Martin a letter to the Jets facility telling him I love watching him. He was a great running back. What I got back shocked me. I got 3 rookie cards of Curtis Martin's signed. 2 years ago, I met him, and I got to thank him in person for taking the time, sending me those cards, and inspiring me to continue to play football. Thanks, Curtis.
Chuck Nola's a man I don't think it's enough credit. He selected and coached 12 of the players who are in this Hall of Fame, and he had a great impact on my career teaching me how to be a coach. But more than that, he taught us that football can't be the most important thing in your life. It has to be family and community as well as football. He did it as well as anyone.
Really proud to be here, to be able to see my guy, Junior Seau, in person. Junior was my mentor. He was a friend. He was a brother. He was a guy that taught me how to be a pro. He taught me how to take care of my body. He taught me what to eat. He taught me how to watch film. And it's just to be here and the passion in which he played and all the teammates that he influenced is really special. I love this brother, and I'm so proud of everything that he's accomplished.
You guys are honestly all amazing storytellers, but what I liked about the stories where you talked about the players a little, right? But like Rodney, you're touching on the human being, the man that was underneath the helmet, and what that means to not only the game, but to people that were around them.
Yeah, and everyone focuses on stats and how guys play in Super Bowls and things like that. But for me, Walter Payton, Ronnie Lott, Junior Seau, those were my 3 guys, not because they were just great football players, but I got a chance to meet those guys and spoke into my life, and I would not be here without the inspiration of those guys, Devin.
Yeah, the example these guys set are amazing. They just showed you how to do things each and every day. One of the things that I love, Dev, is you get a Hall of Fame player, you see him every day, but when the Hall of Famer goes against the a Hall of Famer. In Dallas, Michael Irvin against Deion Sanders one-on-one, or Larry Allen going against Charles Haley. The whole practice stops, and you watch these guys like, oh my God, these guys are better than everybody else. And there was great pride that each of them took to win the drill because they wanted to be the top dog. Amazing stuff.
And I felt that coming into the league. I get in there, and Randy Moss is there, and I'm covering him every day in practice. And I'm like, this is a future Hall of Famer. And it got me ready because my first ever game against Terrell Owens and Chad Johnson, I was ready to go because Randy Moss was beating me to sleep every day in training camp.
All right, guys. Well, this is the Hall of Fame game. And guess what? We got Hall of Famers. We got Gold Jackets. They're shaking hands with Warren Moon. And Tony actually catching up with Sterling Sharp right now.
Yes, and Sterling, it's been a long wait. 21 years since you retired. How does it feel going into the Hall of Fame?
It feels great going into the Hall of Fame, but, Coach, I wasn't waiting. I was playing golf, enjoying myself.
Well, I don't have much hair left from having to defend you twice a year.
I'm with you. I don't have much hair trying to beat your defenses.
Well, you got us good, but you really got the Lions. How are these Lions fans treating you here?
I tell you what, they've been really nice to me. They have appreciated. They had to go through some tough times to get to where they are now. They're one of the favorites to get to the Super Bowl. But, you know, the guys that I've got a chance to talk to fan-wise, they're very appreciative of my career, and I'm really appreciative of that. That's all I wanted to do was play, and I hope I made them happy, even though I did a lot of damage to their team.
Yes, you did. Well, congratulations, and we're going to go over to another member of the Hall of Fame, Chris Sims with Jared Allen.
Yeah, I'm not a member of the Hall of Fame, but this guy is, okay? I will not be there. Jared Allen, one of the coolest guys I've ever played against in the NFL. All right, I know you're a little old. Pretend you sacked me and give me your sack celebration.
Okay, let's get this.
Can you do it?
Then we'll just get down and hit him up with.
It was one of the best of all time. And also, what we want to play for you here, too. Your Sunday Night Football intros are some of the best ever. We got a few of them right here. Let's check them out.
All right. Jared Allen, Joshua Burns Preschool. Jared Allen, Homeschool. Thanks, Bob. Jared Allen, the Idaho State. Jared Allen, Culinary Academy.
That's amazing. What was the inspiration for that?
That was back when training camp was like 5-6 weeks long. You know what I mean? So you get bored and you just start making crap up to entertain yourself. I didn't actually think they would put it on TV. And then I was getting letters from people like, man, thanks for representing for homeschool.
Right.
Someone reported that I met my wife at the Culinary Academy, and I'm just like, wow. You know, media's really gone downhill when they believe anything that comes out of an idiot's mouth like me.
Well, we're trying to bring it up here at NBC. Hey, congratulations. You're the man.
Thank you so much.
Back to you, Maria.
All right, thanks, Chris. Jared Allen, certainly a character. Well, this year, the Pro Football Hall of Fame is featuring a character exhibit which celebrates the values learned through playing football. Now, among those featured is former Cardinals defensive back Pat Tillman, who died while serving in Afghanistan. And also former Chiefs running back Joe Delaney. He passed away in 1983 attempting to rescue a group of children from drowning in a pond in his home state of Louisiana. And we're bringing back in Mike Florio because this story most certainly touched you, and you always work to promote and make sure that the legacy of Joe Delaney lives on. Describe the impact that it's had on you.
And I remember reading about Joe Delaney's death the day after it happened in the newspaper in 1983. He was 24 years old. He had played 2 seasons in the NFL, and he'd had an impact. He could have ended up with a bronze bust in Canton. 3 young children of his own, 3 boys that he did not know from Adam. They were drowning, and he said, I have to try to save them. And he gave his life, the ultimate sacrifice. It's great that the Hall of Fame is remembering him because we tell the story every year, and I hear from people who had never heard about Joe Delaney. So every year we will tell his story.
Yeah, Joe Delaney, just 24 years old. He left behind a wife. He also had 3 daughters. And there is the Delaney 37 Foundation, which was created to extend Joe's legacy. It promotes leadership development and also water safety. All right, guys, we are getting closer and closer and closer to kickoff here in Canton ahead of the Pro Football Hall of Fame game. We've got plenty of guys in gold jackets. I mentioned Warren Moon. He came over. He was almost in the live shot. Dan Fouts is here rolling around. We also got Barry Sanders. Oh, we always see Barry. He's not going to miss a game with the Lions in it now, is he? We'll be right back after this.
Good.
Incredible game, you know, just being around like-minded savages.
That's what we do, man. We compliment each other.
There's a game ball to Joe Ortiz.
Joey, you got a game ball? Just give me 1 game ball here. All I got is 2 game balls. I got 3 game balls.
Give each other a high five.
talk about how resilient we are. We live it, man.
Who could possibly have it better than us?
It's as good as it gets.
You can't tell me Dan Campbell, Jim Harbaugh aren't having fun with this whole coaching thing, okay? Using personality to turn around franchises. That's how your locker rooms were, right, Devin?
Not exactly. A lot of winning.
Oh, a lot of winning. Okay. Yeah, these are the locker rooms right now. A little pregame access, a little chill. Not the personality rolling in just yet. Maybe during the postgame celebration. Let's talk a little bit more about those Lions and Dan Campbell. I mean, remember, 15 wins last year, set a franchise record, back-to-back division titles for the first time in franchise history. But they do not return their OC or their DC, only playoff team that has to deal with that. I mean, where do we see them stacking up in the NFC?
And that's all the talk. Everyone wants to talk about Ben Johnson being gone and Aaron Glenn. I went up to Jared Goff in pregame and I said, hey, how's all the news in this? How's everything going? He said, it's new, we're learning, but we have really good players. So he feels good about it. He's letting the rest of the world, you should feel good too.
Yeah, not only do they have good players, they have an unbelievable head coach and a great general manager in Brad Holmes, and these guys are hip to hip. They were hip to hip when they were building this team. When you have success, the league takes the guys away from you. Coordinators are gone, different guys on their offensive line. That's been a big part of their identity, but I have a lot of faith in Campbell, a lot of faith in Holmes. Replace those guys and keep the train rolling, as DC says.
I got faith as well, but I don't think we can understate how big of a deal it is that they lost the two coordinators, especially Ben Johnson, who I think has been the best play caller in football. The Eagles are the head of the class in the NFC. And then I look at the Lions to be right there with the Commanders and the Rams in that next year. Big year for Jared Goff. Hey, the last 2 years ends three interceptions in the divisional game. The year before that, they bowl a 17-point lead. He's going to have to step up in a big way as well.
And some might argue Washington coming off of last year, adding pieces, the Rams going to get Adams. Detroit might have fallen behind those teams instead of being right there, so it's going to be a good year.
Detroit will be better on defense because they're going to be healthier on defense. They were decimated down the stretch and have put different stresses on their team. My biggest concern, can they be balanced? Can they be as physical as they've been up front on the offensive line?
Yeah, that's a great point. I mean, no playoff team had more players on IR than the Lions, and every single week we said, how are they going to deal with it? How are they going to deal with it? They managed it, but you could see it wearing on them in the postseason. All right, for more on the Chargers and the AFC, let's hear from Jack, Tony, and Rodney.
Yeah, over in the AFC West, Maria, it has just belonged to Kansas. Almost a decade at this point that it's been the Chiefs. How close are the Chargers to closing down that gap, do you believe?
I think the Chargers, they're getting closer.
Yep.
They've done a great job of solidifying that offensive line. They added some beef in the interior of that defensive line, coach. The biggest problem I have, I don't believe that they have enough in the passing game. Lad McConkey, I teased him. I said, if I was going against you, it'd be one double lad. And because I'm not afraid of anybody else, and I think that's the only thing that's holding them back, coach.
Well, the Chargers formula, you can see it developing under Jim Harbaugh. Stingy defense, tough physical offense, win the time of possession. But that leads to close games. And in close games, you have to make the plays in the fourth quarter. That's what we've got to see from them.
And there was 3 playoff teams over there in the West, coach. But what's it going to take for one of these teams to knock off Kansas City when it matters most, do you believe?
Well, you've got great coaches in the West all the way through, but it's going to come down to quarterback play. In that final minute, is Patrick Mahomes going to outplay Justin Herbert, or is Justin Herbert going to make the plays to win the game?
But also, you talk about defense. Denver has a really good defense. The Chargers have the #1 defense, but the defense I trust more is Kansas City. They've done it on a big stage multiple times.
We're not going to have to wait real long for answers. Week number 1, Chargers and the Chiefs.
In Brazil.
In Brazil. So we're going to get those answers soon. Back over to Maria Taylor.
All right, thanks, guys. And coming up next on Football Night in America, NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell will speak with Mike Tirico in his first interview since Monday's shooting in New York. Welcome back to Canton. Chargers and Lions coming up. Tonight's game comes in the wake of Monday's shooting at 345 Park Avenue in New York City, which is the home of the NFL's offices. Earlier this evening, NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell spoke with Mike Tirico.
Commissioner, we appreciate you joining us. You're usually here with us in Canton for the Hall of Fame game, but stayed back in New York as there was the funeral today for Dadar al-Islam, the New York City police officer, one of the 4 killed on Monday. He was in the lobby. As you went to that funeral today, what did you take away from being there?
Well,
First, tremendous loss. You see the officer's family, his young children. It's something that happens in the line of work for police officers, but that never makes it easy. He was made a detective first grade today as a honor and a promotion, which is well deserved for his bravery, and somebody that we see outside the building when we come in most every day. And it hits home, the loss, the unnecessary and unexplainable loss, and it's something that all of us, you know, as New Yorkers, feel great pride in the NYPD and what they do, and all our first responders. So it was a difficult, emotional afternoon, but also a tremendous, heartwarming service for him.
3 others lost their lives that day, and there was someone seriously injured that was an employee of the National Football League. What can you share with us about that individual?
Well, we do feel terrible for the loss of the employees from our neighbor organizations in the building. It's just heartbreaking for all of us. It's devastating. Our employee I saw yesterday in the hospital is stable and improving. Got to spend about an hour with him, and an amazing young man. And so we're optimistic about his recovery, and I think that's good news for all of us in the NFL, and obviously our hearts continue to be in support with their family. He has a young family and had a chance to meet his brother and parents, and I think it's something that is really hard for all of us to understand and to deal with.
Well, 72 hours later, we learn more facts about the killer. We know that he has a documented history of mental health issues. We also know he played high school football. We can't say that there's any connection there, but in the notes that he left, he did intimate that the NFL was a target in this senseless killing. How does that sit with you as the head of the organization, of having to reconcile that emotion, finding out that the league was a target in this terrible incident?
Well, it's a difficult thing, particularly when you're dealing with a senseless act like this. There are no excuses for those senseless acts. They're hard for all of us to understand. When it inflicts pain on people you know, and people you care about, and people that we deal with on a daily basis, that's particularly hard. But as you know, these acts of senseless violence and hatred are happening around our country and our world far too often, in schools, in churches and synagogues, and in other places that this should just not be happening. But we all have to continue to be vigilant and do what we can to protect ourselves, and the NFL is going to do that with our employees and with our people.
I'm sure there's been an outpouring of people reaching out to you with their thoughts for the league. What has that been like, and what kind of folks have you heard from over the last 72 hours after this has happened, trying to offer their support to, candidly, an organization that we look forward to, or look to, I should say, very often, to help lift us after something like this happens. Usually the games go on, and that's an on-ramp of some sort to getting back to normalcy. But now you're the ones who are trying to put the pieces back together.
Yeah, thank you for saying that, Mike. You know, it's difficult, but I will tell you, the outpouring of support we have had from people all over the world, from government leaders to partners, to our players, past and current, to our teams and coaches and owners, to so many people that have just been outraged by this this just tragic circumstance. And that's heartwarming for us, and it's good to know people are behind us. We do believe that the NFL brings people together, and we are going to continue that. We are going to be lifted by our own efforts to bring the National Football League to our fans. It's something that I think our employees take great pride in, and that's why those folks are there tonight, beginning that process of making sure people can enjoy the National Football League. And we're going to put our employees as our primary focus. But we think we can also continue to bring our country together around our game. And I think that will be healing, hopefully, for our employees. But also remember, this attack is far more than on several individuals. This is an attack on humanity. This is an attack on our communities. This is an attack on New York. This is an attack on our way of life. And all of us have to do more and make sure that we're doing everything to get help to people who need help, and also to take the necessary precautions. And I assure you, our employees are going to work hard. We're going to carry on, maybe with broken hearts, but we will carry on.
Thanks again to the commissioner for his time, and our thoughts remain with the families of the victims and all those affected by Monday's events. We are just minutes away from kicking off a big weekend and the start of the 2025 season. Kickoff is next.